shoma chuji anji podrana, tuksan sanji kanji konyet. Razme shurga mazme stunza par sawe lama namla sorate. Kirba sanje chua shikdanye nyamba drupa shumla tanda. Sanjine manere dambe janso lodo janso shabla sorade. Lame josame janso dojeda shirka kura pema shumla ji. Shenri zinga gyalwe nyuku ye tanda drupa tanjina drupara ho. Ranzen lame trambe kajela kosme jaro shidru la tsokhar. Rale jana nepre tujo toyo yirmi jivare shinji lo. Everybody raise bodhicitta to benefit countless suffering sentient beings. May all beings have happiness and all the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and all the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the great happiness, devoid of suffering, and may they forever dwell in the great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. To sacred Bodhicitta, the precious and excellent mind, where it is not, may it arise. Where it is, may it never decline, consistently growing, rising higher and higher. We carry on these incredible teachings of Togme example, the 37 practices of a bodhisattva. And now we're beginning with verse number 5. And with verse number 5, it reads, verse number 6. Verse number 6 reads, the practice of all bodhisattvas is to cherish spiritual friends by regarding them as even more precious than one's own body, since they are the ones who will help to rid us of all our faults and make our virtues grow ever greater, just like the waxing moon. So it's very important that we build our practices on a solid foundation. If you build a castle on ice, there's a good problem. It's going to collapse at some stage when it gets hot. So when we build a house, we build a really good foundation. If your foundation is strong, we build a building, it's going to be much sturdier and it's less likely that the whole building is going to collapse. The same with our practice. It's very important that we build our practice on a very strong foundation. So it's very important to really practice the foundation practices. Renunciation, bodhicitta, having the right view, the 4 points that turn the mind. Know that we have this precious human life, impermanence, the suffering of samsara, and cause and effect. And then on loving kindness, bodhicitta, with that the wisdom. So today's teaching is very, very important, this verse, and that is of the spiritual friends. If you're going to practice Tibetan Buddhism, the teacher is of utmost importance, most important. Embodies the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. Your teacher embodies the deities, the protectors, the yidams. And as they say, to even think about your root Lama for even just a moment is greater than all the other practices. So your root teacher is so important. Maybe in other schools of Buddhism it's not the same, but Tibetan Buddhism, all merits, your path is the teacher. The teacher is so important. Just like we spoke in previous verses about the Guru Yoga of Lama Achuk Rinpoche, the external Guru, It helps us to get to know our internal Guru, to get to know Rigpa. In his Guru Yoga, in the Guru Yoga he writes, what is doing? Reminding us to abide in the true nature of mind, to abide in Rigpa. Not conceptually, to actually be abiding. Are you abiding in Rigpa? Are you abiding in Rigpa all the time? As best as you can. And this is the same nature as that of our teacher, of our root teacher, the root Lama. And this is what our root Lama is going to do. He's going to give us the teachings, share on how we can attain and abide in Rigpa, in our true nature of mind. And this is a step-by-step process. It doesn't just happen that we just get the one teaching in the beginning, except for maybe a few, because of our karma, because of our afflictions and our habits. We often need those step-by-step processes or practices, and to really practice them. So that's why we always start. Look at all the texts. Homage to our perfect teacher. The 3 points that strike the vital point. The 3 words that strike the vital point. The 3 teachers' names. So important. You often hear praise to the teachers. Sometimes you even see teachers, they think of their root Lama and they break into tears. And these are tears of gratitude. They really have boundless merit. Because of them, what have we learned? Because of the influence of our teacher, we've learnt about cause and effect, impermanence, loving kindness and compassion, that this life is precious, that about suffering, and how about to transform all of these afflictive emotions. Our life becomes better and better. We become better and better at benefiting others. Others also benefit from it. Because of our teacher, how many people benefit? So many. Because of them, Dharma centers arise. And from those Dharma centers, people continue being benefited again and again and again. And because they're being benefited, they then benefit others. So like a wave, a ripple. How many people benefit then from what they've done? So many. They do animal liberations, teach people how to be free from their afflictive emotions, have retreats. So what they do is really so boundless. And this is maybe what we can perceive of. We don't know what else they can do. You hear that they have great abilities in benefiting others. And they have really skillful means. So always, towards your teacher, have greatest of gratitude, greatest of respect. It's very important when we follow our teacher also that we understand his intent or her intent. The enlightened teacher's intent is to benefit others. They've overcome the self-grasping. Everything they do, the suffering they experience is for others. And they do it with such joy, so enthusiastically, so diligently. They all wish, who would wish for all beings to be free from suffering? And have all the causes of happiness and be free from all the causes of suffering. How many people do that? How many people wish that even for one person? They're wishing it for all sentient beings, and that's what they work towards. For us, how many of our parents have even thought of that for us? Our parents really think for our benefit. But how many of them have thought of this? They wish for you to often to be materially very happy. There's not many that have actually had the idea, unless they've been practicing Buddhism, to wish for you to be enlightened. And everybody else to be enlightened as well. Never mind just you. Treat everybody like their son and daughter. Or we treat everybody as our mothers. So there's 2 people that we really treat with great gratitude, that have bestowed great merit on us. So one is our parents, and the other is our perfect teacher, our enlightened teacher. Everything they're doing to benefit sentient beings. This is their wish. They wish for us to be enlightened. They wish for us to be free of suffering. So, whatever you do, do your best to also assist your teacher. Assist your root Lama in any way you can. If you can, materially. Even better, through service. Even better than that, through your own practice. That is the greatest joy for your root Lama is that you practice. And that practice starts to show transformation. Transform, grow in renunciation, in bodhicitta, grow in faith. And if you do this, you can really quickly attain great merits, quickly attain a realization and go to the Pure Lands. So we see, like for instance now, Khelwe Nyugu Rinpoche is building a monastery. And many people have their own perceptions. Why is he building it? For some people, they think that he's doing it for fame or reputation or to have a big monastery. But this is their perception. Some people have a lot to say. But if you really know the teacher's doing it to benefit all beings. Is to benefit his students. His students have a place to stay. His students have a place to practice. They have a place where they get food, where they have accommodation, where they get taught the Dharma. There's always Dharma available. And that opportunity to practice is so rare. So they have nothing to worry about. Isn't that incredible? How many people look at us like this, and all they want in return is that you become a better practitioner, you become a better person. They don't want anything back for themselves. They're doing it for you as well. Look at the teachers, the great root lamas. They go out and they teach. They go out, funds are raised. Sometimes they go out like mothers looking for food, for things for their children. Their great love and kindness, they go out, they teach. They bring back offerings so that we can eat as monastics, even lay people. As we said, have a place to stay, have the Dharma. It's really great kindness. So as we said, this is nearly the different. Verse 5 was being away from negative friends. Now we're talking about positive friends. These positive friends, they give us the pith instructions. They give us the methods, the teachings, the practices, how to transform, how to attain enlightenment. Really follow them. If your teacher says something, do your best to follow. And as he told you to do it. But what is it like? You see with some people, or often these days, the teacher gives some kind of little gift, maybe some nectar pills, maybe a little blessing. Bless the mala. And people climb over all things. They scramble up there. They're so happy. Oh, I've got some nectar pills. I've got a little present. But the teacher gives them pith instructions. How many of them are so happy? What? How long do I have to practice this for? I've been practicing this for a while, and you still want me to carry on doing this? Those pith instructions are so valuable. These are the pith instructions to enlightenment. So many people are more interested in having a little gifts and nectar pills. Often this is the case. Many people, they go to Rinpoche as well and they say, Rinpoche, when I first met you, you were so nice to me. Now, you're not so nice. You don't spend so much time with me. You ignore me. He says, of course. He says, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you attain enlightenment. And so, the teacher will find where our shortcomings are and test us. Test our faith. Test how good our afflictive emotions, how well we've transformed them. Sometimes being nicest and the kindest to people isn't always being nice. It's helping them grow, challenging them. And Rinpoche will, he'll give you things to do. Your teacher gives you things to do. And these things are challenging. You have to go out of yourself, out of your comfort zone, out of that little box of yours. But they'll never give you something that you can't do. But you've got to stretch out. You've got to feel that little bit of discomfort, and then you can grow. This is great kindness. Isn't this great kindness? Rather than just letting you sit there in your comfort zone, somebody that pushes you a little bit. They point out our faults. And sometimes they might shout at us. Why? Because they've seen a fault in us and they want us to correct it. This is great kindness. So the teacher, the spiritual friend, will teach us. And this is the responsibility of the teacher. It's our responsibility to practice. It's not like he can just take away all our afflictions. If he could have, he would have taken them long ago. Otherwise, where's the bodhicitta? If you're able to take it, why let us suffer? He would have taken it away. It's for us to transform our own afflictive emotions, us to transform our own minds. And I think, isn't it, as Marpa said, I think to Milarepa, I think it was Marpa to Milarepa, he said, why complain? Or because, I don't think it was complain, but he said, I didn't ask you, you didn't go out and do all of these negative deeds for me. The negative deeds we've performed, the karma is so strong, it's because of what we've done ourselves, because we weren't willing to control our own afflictive emotions. We ran away with these negative thoughts, all of these habits, not the teacher. So if you get these pith instructions, practice them. Sometimes we get these pith instructions, and after a little while, let me go ask for something else. But have you really practiced this? What have you got? But maybe Rinpoche, I've been practicing for a while. Give me something new. Rinpoche, this is the second time I've been here. This is the third time I've been here. And then if the teacher reprimands us, we're even more unhappy. I'm not going to practice anymore. What does this teacher know anyway? I'll find a real teacher. So you hear Rinpoche say as well, people come to him and they say, is my state of practice right? And he says, no. And then they go and they tell other people, don't listen to this Rinpoche. He's not enlightened. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Another teacher said my state of mind is correct. The Rinpoche says it's wrong. Rinpoche doesn't know. You see, go to another teacher. Maybe when the other teacher gave you directions, at that time your mind was correct, in the right state. But when you go before Rinpoche, it's not. That was a temporary experience. Now it isn't anymore. And then still, after that, still go and say negative things about the teacher. This is your source of enlightenment. Be so careful. Don't slander your teachers. Don't slander any teacher. Be respectful to every single teacher. It's so important. Maybe you specifically follow one or a few, but respect them all. And those that you follow, really, really practice. Some people are very able to practice and follow many teachers. For myself, it's better to have one. I listen to teachings of other teachers, but the main instructions, I listen to one teacher. Why? Because within myself, this is enough. Also, I already have a perfect teacher. But not only that, also, if there's too many instructions, sometimes in our mind there's conflict. And then we don't practice any of them well. That's not to say I practice any of them well. But for me, I might have conflict. Who do I go to today? Who do I practice? What do I practice today? So sometimes it's like having many boyfriends or many girlfriends. It sounds like fun. It's interesting. It's really, feel pretty good about ourselves. Wow, I've got 3 girlfriends. I've got 3 boyfriends. I'm in demand. This is exciting. This is interesting. This is stimulating. But then one day it's going to come the day when all 3 of them or 2 of them want to go out at the same time, and then you have a problem. Then there's a lot of conflict. And maybe at the end of the day, you don't even end up with one of them. So sometimes it becomes a habit. People go to one teacher, and then they're happy for a while, but then their afflictions arise, and then they run off to the next teacher. And for a while they say, yes, you see, this is it. I knew this was the right teacher. But after a while, off to another teacher. So often people think that there's something wrong with the teacher. I remember once hearing Kamapa say, maybe, we think that the teacher is wrong, but 99.9% of the time, the teacher is right and you're wrong. Your thinking is upside down, not the teacher's. And I think he's being nice. I don't think it's 99.9, it's 100%. With respect to attaining enlightenment and the instructions and the practice, what do we know? We're not there, they're there. Maybe material things is different, but we're talking about attaining enlightenment here. It's the same as if you go maybe somewhere, maybe you go to Rome. If you go to a place, you want to know, go around, find interesting places. You go to somebody that's lived there for a long time, that knows the place. They can take you. They can take you this way. From here you can go this way. From there you can go this way. If there's a lot of traffic, come this way. If you've gone wrong, well, maybe you can come back that way. But if you ask somebody who's never lived there, they're going to leave you all over the place. You could get to the place that you want to be, but you won't even know it. But the person who's been living there all the time, they know that place. There you are, you're here. You're not there yet. The same with the practices, the enlightened teachers, in that state of mind all the time. They know, oh, you're not there yet. This is how you get there. This is how you practice. Oh, in this case, this is how you practice. So follow them, most important. Follow with great diligence, with great faith, discipline, and great enthusiasm. If you're given anything to do, do it. Do it with enthusiasm. Do the best you can. To really benefit, to really help your teacher, he's doing everything to benefit others. So when you benefit him, you're also contributing. You can accumulate great merit. You're contributing to the benefiting of others. And they really have so many skillful ways to help us. And I was going back, we're talking about the pith instructions. We get frustrated or maybe we get impatient. I've been practicing this for a while. Lama Achuk Rinpoche, some of those pith instructions that Rinpoche has given us, he practiced for 9 years without asking for another instruction from his teacher, Trulga Arik Rinpoche. And in 9 years, he truly realized the very inner meaning of some of those pith instructions. What do we do? Some of the pith instructions, we don't even practice them. We throw it away in the rubbish bin. The same as throwing it in the rubbish bin. Somebody gives you a beautiful gift, and all you do is trash it in the rubbish bin. Somebody gives you a gift to practice. To attain enlightenment, to free yourself from suffering, to change your life, never mind this life, lifetimes. And all we do, we just discard it. We may start following our teacher for different reasons. The important thing is that eventually we transform to follow the path of the true Dharma, the path of enlightenment. So some people they really like the teacher, they think the teacher is really handsome. This happens often. It's wonderful, no problem, it's a start. But eventually the teacher will use his ways to transform that and get you onto the right path. Of course, you have to transform yourself. You have to transform and do it as well. Otherwise, it's going to cause suffering. It really can cause suffering. We have these unrealistic expectations sometimes, of the thousands of students, we the one. So really, watch your perceptions. We're still caught up in our perceptions. We're still caught up in our conceptuality. We're not abiding in Rigpa, in the true nature of mind. So be very careful of your judgments. Like we said earlier, oh, this teacher's useless, that teacher's terrible. Be careful who you're slandering. Be very careful of slandering any enlightened teacher. You slander one, another one might be a little bit hesitant to really give you those teachings. It's because your practice doesn't work out, not because the teacher's instruction is wrong, because you haven't practiced properly, or you're too lazy, or your mind is still full of negativities, impurities, so you don't realize the practice, and then you start to slander the teacher. This teacher's useless, this teacher's no good. I've been practicing for so many years, I haven't got any results. Don't go to that teacher. All you're doing is you're cutting off the hand that feeds you. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. We are the ones that are still stuck in our perceptions. So there's a good chance, as we said before, that we're the ones with the problem, not the teacher. And the greater our belief is very important. The greater our belief, the greater the blessing. If you really see your teacher as the Buddha, as the Bodhisattva, you get great blessing. If you just see him as somebody who's ordinary, what type of blessing are you getting? And everybody's perception is different, as we were saying. Some people will look at a teacher and they think, you actually see it, get into the lift with the teacher and they go and they put the Some people think, oh, look at this person, they're just causing trouble, dressing like that. Some people just, oh, there's a nice guy. Some people think, wow, look at that Lama. Other people see a Buddha, a Bodhisattva. In reality, if you really practice true realization, everything is pure. And we start by seeing the purity of our teacher. Very important in getting to see the purity of our own teacher. Also very important, the 5 perfections. Like when we go to teachings, perfect place, perfect time, perfect teacher, perfect teaching, and perfect brothers and sisters. In reality, everything is pure, everything is perfect, but we see everything through the filters of our afflictions, our negative emotions, our discriminations. So when we respect, also, this respect mustn't be forced, or not because we see everybody else is bowing down or making prostrations, then maybe we should do the same. Do it from your heart, with respect. Great respect. Respect for what they do for others. Respect for the teachings, the holder of the teachings. Pray to your teacher often. Pray again and again. As we said, to think of your teacher is greater than any other practice. Practice Guru Yoga. Again and again, bring your teacher to mind. Bring your teacher, mix your teacher with your mind. And a teacher as well. Also, I think the teachers have said it's like a fire. It's very important not to be too far away from your teacher, otherwise you get cold. Also don't be too close, otherwise you get burnt. It can be very difficult to be around the teacher for a long time. Take the practices, benefit them, come back. Tell your teacher what is happening. What is the result of their path instructions? They give you guidance, tell you where to go. What to do, what your next path instruction is. Go back and practice this again. Either because you haven't got the point or because you need to reinforce the point. When you're around, whatever you're around, you absorb it in many cases, like sandalwood. You absorb the scent. When you're around people that are negative friends, they influence us. We start doing what they're doing. When you're around an enlightened teacher or spiritual friends, it rubs off on you as well. You also start to practice more. Your qualities grow. Those qualities are absorbed into you. Opens up our minds. Instead of being so narrow, thinking of the self-grasping, me, I. We do. We have. How many times? There's teachings of thousands, and we hope that Rinpoche looks at me. If you're unhappy in your practice, look. Really have a look. If you're unhappy in your practice, there's a good chance that something is wrong. You're making a mistake. Again, it's not a problem with the teachings. I remember going once to Rinpoche saying, this meditation I get a headache. And he just said to me, he said, there's no problem with these teachings. The problem is yours. These teachings, so many students have attained enlightenment. They work. Lama Achok Rinpoche is enlightened. Rinpoche is enlightened. Trulka Arik Rinpoche was enlightened. How many others have attained enlightenment through these teachings? And we still think that the teachings have a problem. Follow your teacher. Follow him as much as you can, for as long as you can. Always aspiring that lifetime after lifetime you can meet up with a spiritual friend. Look at Lama Achok Rinpoche. He followed Trulka Arik Rinpoche for 42 years. He helped him. He was by his side all the time during the Cultural Revolution, serving him. Lama Achok Rinpoche said one of the reasons why he became such a great teacher was because of his following, his belief, his serving of his teacher. Lama Achok Rinpoche started in 85, Yachen Monastery, 6 students. Now look, tens of thousands, 10,000 nuns and monks. How many have attained enlightenment through those teachings? I remember hearing Morta Rinpoche saying that one of the greatest teachers was Trulka Arik Rinpoche. And why also? Because he had such a great helper in Lama Achok Rinpoche. Really, really incredible. So if you find a good lineage, do your best to stay with that lineage. Pure lineage. Follow it. Rinpoche as well, he teaches, he says he's happy. He's got a picture of Lama Achok Rinpoche there. He says when he's teaching, it might be his body, it might be his voice, but it's the teachings of Lama Achok Rinpoche. Just Lama Achok Rinpoche's teachings using his body, speech and mind to share with those who has the appropriate arising causes. Examine your teacher. They say, examine your teacher. Really observe your teacher. Is your teacher a true teacher? There was a story of a king who followed one teacher, and after 12 years, eventually he was observing the teacher. He said, I've been observing you. He went to the teacher and said, I've been observing you for 12 years, and I think you are a good teacher, and I'll follow you. And the teacher smiled and just said, I haven't finished following you. I haven't finished observing you. Otherwise, if you don't examine the teacher, you follow the wrong teacher, it's like drinking poison. Okay, you can really, really go along the wrong path. Look at Milarepa, look at Mapa. How incredible did Milarepa become because of his belief, his faith in his teacher. The way Mapa treated him, most people wouldn't be able to accept this. But this wasn't because Mapa was horrible to him. In fact, it was great love and kindness of Mapa. he saw the potential of Milarepa. And he guided him in the right way. And of course, Milarepa practiced properly. But it said that Milarepa never once had the wrong thought about his teacher. How many of us can say that? We get different types of teachers. We get teachers in the material world, teachers of Dharma, and we get the enlightened teacher. The most important is that Vajra Dharma, that Vajra, the diamond teacher, the enlightened teacher. Follow him, what he recommends, like a sick person listens to a doctor. Never displease your teacher as best as you can. Remember its perception as well, Milarepa said poor sentient beings, and sentient beings said poor Milarepa. They thought, look at this guy, eating grass, green, nothing to eat, no clothes to wear. And Milarepa thought, these poor sentient beings, suffering so much with their afflictive emotions. Build your practice on a good foundation, just like a statue. You make a good base of the statue, then you can put any Buddha or Bodhisattva on that base. A Mandrushi statue, Avalokitesvara, Chenrezig, Vajrapani, Guru Rinpoche, Vajrasattva, Sakyamuni Buddha. If you have a good foundation, you can build your practices on this. Never give up. Keep on going. Keep on going. Again and again, try see Rinpoche. As you say, some people, they go once, they don't see him, they leave. Some people get frustrated. I've come 3 times, I haven't been able to see you. For teachings that are going to transform us, our lives, attain enlightenment, we should have some patience. We should really be able to accept anything. Look at the great teachers of the past, what they did for the Dharma. And our teacher, remember, it's not that photograph, not that physical. Appearance that we see. Yes, it is part, but the real part, you think that your teacher is just a photograph. The teacher is those boundless qualities of perfect wisdom, boundless loving kindness and compassion. The true nature of mind, Rigpa. And they're going to show us the way there, how to do it. It's very important that the teachers teach. They didn't teach. Who would we go to when Buddha was around? We weren't fortunate enough. Either we didn't know Buddha, we didn't have the arising causes, or we knew Buddha, but we didn't practice, and so we're still in samsara. And Buddha also, in the beginning, he didn't want to teach. He wanted to share with everybody, but he said, I don't know how to teach this. And he went into the forest. And eventually, one of the gods asked him to please teach. And then he started to teach. It's very important that the teachers teach. Support them however you can in their teachings. If you haven't met your root Lama yet, keep on aspiring, keep on practicing. The more you practice, the better your practice you get. The more you make your aspirations, the greater and greater your chances are going to be to meet your teacher. Don't practice blindly. For the fundamental things, it's fine. But really, to attain enlightenment, it's so important that you follow a really, really great teacher. Let's dedicate the merits. Sonam daye tamcha dzipanye, tobnye nyepe tranang kacheja, geka nachir balang trupai, dzipi tsoli droa Droa Shok. And that our teachers, also the merit dedicated, that our teachers may have long lives, good health, that all their Dharma aspirations are successful and prosper perpetually. And the greatest of gratitude to Rinpoche, Lama Achak Rinpoche, Trulga Arik Rinpoche, and all perfect teachers.